was like looking for a cool, super cool bandmates. I think you mentioned bass and drum at the time. I hadn't found Yanni yet.
Yeah.
But I didn't have my bass on me, and I was like, I'm busy, whatever. But then next semester rolls around, and I go through like applications and classes and everything, and I'm like, I've got 1 year left here. I want to be in a band. And luckily, they posted another post.
Yeah, we were desperate. We were real thirsty for a bassist, for sure.
For the love of God, anybody play music in this area, please.
Yeah.
We will pay you. They didn't say
We didn't. We don't pay you.
I still haven't gone
Yeah,
yet.
for sure.
But I responded to it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll just go home and get my bass. I haven't played it in like years, but I want to be in a band. But I was super worried showing up because I'm like, God, they're gonna be like, what are your influences? And I'm gonna have to like pretend I'm like a good bassist.
Also, to be aware, by showing up, we meant show up. Not we went to Hamp, but not in Hamp. We were outside Hamp because we were like, we don't have swipes.
Yeah.
So we just were
off campus.
I didn't get food out of it at all.
No, for sure. Yeah, we don't want to sink money into something that might not work out. So so we just were outside Hamp, and we were just talking about music while people were going inside and stuff like that.
Y'all were basically just like, okay, you're breathing.
Yes.
Join our band.
You own a bass. Come to practice.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah. What was your first gig that you guys did that was like the four of you who are currently in there now, and how did that go?
So there's two answers here. So there's for a short time before Jeremy joined the band, we played a couple 3-piece gigs where me and Mike would pass off on bass and guitar and just go back and forth. So the first gig of that was it was a house show in Amherst. One of the people from Salt, Max from Salt. It was at his house. He organized it along with UMass Noise, and it was us and the Baxbys and somebody.
It was
it was Sawyer's band.
Yeah.
If you guys know Sawyer's a great dude. But we went on, it was our first show back after the, coming back from school. And it was a really crazy experience to have, people down there that we had never known before, and actually just like, dancing to our music and moshing and having a good time. It was a really, really great experience.
Yeah, we'd always, since I was a freshman, I tried to get into the music community and stuff and go to shows. And I remember going to my first Salt show and just seeing this crowd of people, especially because I was in a band in high school, and it was like always a struggle to get people to go. You'd always have to beg like your 5 friends to go to your show. And seeing people that just like wanted to go see music, I was like, oh my God, it would be so amazing to like be a part of the scene and play good music for people and have people show up that you weren't there. So yeah, definitely having that first experience in Max's basement where, there were people there that we didn't know that like, just we were like, oh my God, are they gonna like our music? And I'm surprised people are even here, and they liked it and I had a good time. And then Jeremy, do you remember the first show with? Yeah, I don't even remember. Go for it.
Yeah, that
was it the Salt
show? Yeah, Salt Emo Valentine. Speaking of
great show.
Speaking of it being unreal that people we don't know are showing up and watching.
Yes.
That show capped out like immediately.
Like 100 people.
Wow.
Immediately.
It was filled up.
Yeah. It was in, where was it? The
agricultural engineering building. Yeah.
So we're looking out the windows and there's people like outside who couldn't get in, like hanging in from the windows, just listening to us and all the other bands playing. And I just remember being so nervous the entire time. I was sweating buckets. But it was a super cool experience.
Yeah, the Emo Valentine show was super awesome. Just again, we talk about, especially me, I really love some emo music, and it was just very nice and having everyone in emo stuff, classics and things like that. So that was a really good show for sure. One of our favorites, or one of my favorites that we've done for sure.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I think that's something I feel like a lot of people look over, because even when I saw you guys at the UMass Got Talent, it's like you see people up there and they look so calm. It's like, wow, they're making it look so easy. But do you guys, like, when you get, I assume being backstage, you see people out there, do you get like a little nerves, and how do you deal with that?
For sure.
Yeah. I feel like it definitely depends on the show. Like when we were first starting out, like back in September and even up to January and February and all these shows, it was like we're still, getting our footing. It was still like, are we gonna play stuff right? Are we gonna mess up? Is this gonna go well? And then, but as we've gone, I think we've all gotten a little bit more comfortable with doing it, a little less nervous most of the time. But the UMass Got Talent thing specifically, just the massive amount of people that were there, and the fact that it was so professionally set up with all like the sound equipment and stuff, that one definitely made me a little bit more nervous than a lot of other ones had in a while.
Whenever there's something like uncanny, like people sitting in chairs,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it being like a very like small show, sometimes we like don't have a lot of room to like move on stage, and that just makes you like physically uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Anything like that starts to make me nervous. But kind of as like what Matt said, I really haven't been as nervous the past couple shows. I feel like we've played so much. It's just another gig. Starting to just enjoy it.
For me, it's like Russian roulette. I don't know what I'm gonna. Some shows like now I'm like, oh, I want to get up there. I'm so excited to play and don't think anything of it. Sometimes I'm like freaking out, like just like, you know, at the back of the show, or you know, and if we have some sort of green room, I'm just sort of like freaking out, and maybe I'll implement some Joshua Michael, some Music 100, just like
Techniques.
getting breathing techniques, or occasionally, you know, if I can, I'll scoot away and try to put some headphones in and just zone out and just get ready and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely, for me, it's just like randomly I'll feel nervous, and I'm always a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like Matt's throwing his hair around, and I sort of just look like I'm taking a test on stage a little bit. So it just depends, I guess, on the show.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good that you have a pregame ritual.
Yeah, I mean, we change it up. It's like we like to think it's consistent, you know, but it's really not.
Yeah.
We just randomly do stuff.
We do
sometimes.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? Crazy Eights.
We do crazy eights. We still
We did that once.
I do improv with the Toast, the long form improv group on campus, and we sometimes do like improv warm ups where we'll just like do some random stuff or shake out or do like I got your back or something before the show.
Yeah, we've done that a couple times.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and maybe you guys already touched on this a little bit, but was there ever a moment where you're playing like maybe one of your first gigs, you're like, wow, like music is something that I want to pursue as a career? And could you just describe that decision?
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like wanting to pursue music as a career is something I've always like wanted to do, but felt like it wouldn't be necessarily viable. And maybe, you know, over the past, you know, 9 months or whatever, since we got the band back together, it feels like it's like just this much more tangible. Like obviously we're still a super small band, but just starting out and all that, but it's been crazy to see how much support we've gotten in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, for me, I was in a band in high school that like, again, for like a year or two, would play around, and we would like beg our friends to come, and we would play. Exactly. Yeah, and we would like have nobody in the audience, but again, thank you to all our friends who would come out. But it was always like getting any audience at a show was like never a thing, basically. And I think one of the main things is like when we started playing around here, and like, you know, we played a couple shows, like our first show at Ethan's house, or like the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Like just seeing people that come out that like we don't recognize, and maybe even like one time I think at the WMUA, one of the most surreal moments was before the Battle of the Bands when we were setting up. A couple people just started chanting track meet, and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So like that for me, I was like, that was like the first time I ever noticed like people that weren't like socially obligated to go to our show care about our music and care about us. So again, I agree with Matt. Like we're definitely super small, and I don't, you know, necessarily expect a career to come from this. I'd love to, because again, especially Amherst has such an awesome music legacy. It'd be cool to be somewhat associated with people like Dinosaur Jr. and Pixies and stuff like that. But that was the first time that I was like, oh, like, you know, people can actually care about the music that you do. So people that come to our shows and stuff are awesome. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think piggybacking off of that point too is seeing like T-shirts on
Yeah.
campus.
Yeah.
That is surreal. Almost,
Surreal.
Do
truly.
people ever like when you're on campus, they're like, you're in track meet?
Yeah,
I get that occasionally.
That would
yeah.
be like, dang.
It's a little interesting. I've definitely been at a couple parties or something like that where some people that are very drunk will like stumble and go like, wait, and they'll be like, and I'll be like, oh yeah, like hi, and they'll be like, the Baxby's. No, but yeah. So occasionally.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just going a little bit more into performances, I know this upcoming weekend there's a Let's Be Friends festival that you guys are performing at. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Let's Be Friends is gonna be a good time. We got music going all day from like 11 to like 9. A lot of really cool bands, especially a lot of cool UMass bands. Obviously the Baxbys, and Rust Bucket, and
The Lights?
No Lights.
No.
But some members of the Lights are playing in a different band.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Monkey Chunks?
Yeah, Monkey Chunks.
Monkey
yeah.
Chunks.
And then some of our best buddies in Three Mandarins, they're opening up the show, so get there early.
We love Three
super
Mandarins.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really.
They're not local to here, but they're
Did we all
they're
say-
from the South Shore.
Well, did we all say the Upstairs District?
Yeah,
is
the
gonna
Upstairs
be-
District.
Yeah,
Yep,
they're
yeah,
good.
local
They're
band.
awesome. They're
yeah,
super
they're
cool.
great.
Yeah. I think Ed Sheeran's going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere. He might be, there against his will or something, but, we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm very excited. I will definitely be in attendance. Can't wait to hear you
Awesome.
guys play.
Say hi.
Thanks, yeah.
Definitely. The last two things, I was just like scrolling through your Instagram, doing a little bit of
Okay.
research for the
Yep.
interview.
Okay.
And we'll probably include this in post, but we just had some interesting pictures. We were wondering if you could just give us a little bit of backstory about that.
Okay.
Hot One
So-
style.
Hot One style.
I
So
was thinking.
for one of your singles, I remember Dig Me a Hole. There's a picture, or no, it was a video of it playing in an actual physical hole that was being
Yeah.
dug. So can you tell us just a little bit about that?
So conveniently and also sadly enough, that was actually a grave for my friend's cat. R.I.P. Pongo.
Yes.
Taken, too
Damn.
young. He was kind of an old cat. Either way. But right around the time we were releasing the single, the Pongo died. So our buddy John was, digging a hole. I don't even know if they ended up using that. I think they had him cremated or something. Either way, he was digging a hole to bury his dead cat. And he was like, oh, this would make great track meet promotional material. And just put on like a black and white filter and just filmed him digging the hole.
Yeah, no cats were intentionally harmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, I just noticed that in there's like a slide where you guys had a picture and you guys met Chancellor Subaswamy
Yes,
and got
we
a
did.
picture with him.
Yep.
Can you tell us just like where did you meet him? How did that happen?
Yeah, so Chancellor Subaswamy, in the nicest way possible, is like a meme. And like we're walking
Yeah.
into a meeting. We were having a meeting with SJC, who's like, they help Survivors Justice
Survivors
Coalition.
Justice Coalition,
So
yeah.
like they, are doing great stuff with like the music scene around here, trying to make sure shows are safe. And so we were walking in to a meeting with them, and we were in the parking garage at the
The basement of the parking
basement of the
garage,
parking garage. We were just walking by, and I think Matt just like some dude walks by us in a suit, and I was like, he's dressed fancy. And then I think Matt goes, "Is that Chancellor Subaswamy?" And I go, "Are you sure?" And Matt goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And I
that's
just
him.
immediately instinctually whip open my wallet and pull out a track meet sticker. And I go, "Are you Chancellor Subaswamy?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Hi." And I say, and I was like, "Wait." And I was like, "Wait, I have to say something normal." And I was like, "We love your school," or something. And so it was like, "Thank you." And I was like, I was trying to like make it sound so professional. I was like, we're in like a local band that like plays music in the Amherst community. And by that, I mean, we play like noise. We do stuff like that. So yeah, and I was like, is there any way we could get a picture? And he was like, yeah. And I gave him a sticker, and I was expecting him to hold it up, and he didn't. And I was like, shit. And I grabbed another one. I grabbed another
He held
sticker,
it up himself,
and I held it
yeah.
up myself. And yeah, we just got a picture. We were like, thank you. So yeah, I feel like you gotta, if you have a chance to get a pic with
Chance
the
with the Chancellor.
chance with the Chancellor.
Yeah.
You gotta take it, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Before we wrap up, is there anyone that like you want to shout out, just in case this blows up one day?
Shout out,
Yeah, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Definitely. Let's
watch your back.
Yeah, we want to shout out Nikki from this
Yes.
band The Dream today.
Yeah.
He recorded all of our our EP, the Amphibian that we released, and the upcoming one. He's been a great help with making us sound good on recordings,
Yeah.
and we love him. And yeah, maybe Three Mandarins.
Yeah.
They're our boys.
Yeah.
Shout out Dud's Dungeon
Dud's
for
Dungeon, yeah.
helping us, get our first couple
Yes,
shows
for
and
sure.
helping to promote us and all that kind of
For
stuff.
sure. Also shout out our drummer John, who's not
Yeah,
here.
our drummer John, of
super
course.
helpful.
Yeah.
All our friends, like our buddy Vince, who's helped us with merch. Andrew's helped us with video stuff. And just all the friends that have helped us do stuff.
Yeah.
And
Anybody who's ever come to one of our shows,
Yes.
any band we've ever played with,
Yes.
we love all of you. We appreciate
yes, exactly.
anything anybody's ever done to help us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Track Meet Band.
Yep, for sure.
Band.
Yep. Well, first of all, because it's out, Stream Amphibian.
Yes.
That's out now. Go listen to that. And then our new EP should be coming out hopefully sometime over the summer. We don't necessarily have a name for it yet, but should be here soon.
Yes. Also, do we know what camera are we at? Can we all look at the camera? Thank you, local Mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.